Adam's family has strange quirks to them. You probably had a really odd sister, maybe sister-in-law, brother. I grew up with my mom, my dad, my brother, at least one dog, most of the time 4 cats, and more tropical saltwater fish than you could ever count. I grew up in a large farmhouse. The farmhouse was at the front of the property, right on the road. Just behind our house was a garage, and just behind that was this huge barn that we used to play in and do all sorts of wonderful things in. My parents were extremely busy people. My mom was a school teacher, and she didn't really have an affinity for organization. She was clean, and she didn't have a lot of stuff, but organization was not her strong suit at all. She was most definitely a type B personality. She'd often get home from work 6:30 or 7. She'd leave for work by 6 in the morning. The kitchen was usually a mess. We cleaned on the weekends. And she could never remember to buy any of the necessities that we needed. Sponge, cleaning product. We were always improvising. We were always using baking soda. And we always had shop vacs. So in case you don't know, a shop vac is like the mecca of vacuum cleaners. The more money you spend on a shop vac, the more power it has. It doesn't just do carpets. You can suck up liquids. You can reverse it so it'll spray things out at a high speed. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing. So my grandma, who lived in West Seattle, would always get coupons for a store in White Center called Chubby and Tubby. And whenever a shop vac was on sale, boom, she was first in line and she got us a shop vac. So my dad, he was also very busy. He owns 2 companies. He was often on business trips in different parts of the country or around the world. And when he was home, all he wanted to do was relax. Specifically, he liked to sit in front of the TV in his boxers and watch crazy movies. He watched Dirty Harry, anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He would quote them. He could tell you any of the Wild West movies and the plot and who was in them, everything about them. So whenever somebody would come over, we'd try to give them a little bit of notice and say, Dad, somebody's coming over, maybe you could not be in your boxers? That would be nice. It was really embarrassing. Between my mom and my dad, there was a lot going on. Then there was my brother. When I was 13, he's 7 years older than me, he moved out. He was a full-time college student, and the description of a type A personality falls short of how high, strong, and intense he is. He makes me look like the most laid-back person of all time. My brother was just driven almost to a psychiatric hospital by my parents. He needed everything to be meticulously put in place. Nothing could ever be out of place. He was so driven in all of his pursuits, and my parents just continually were getting in his way. So my parents were trying as hard as they could to be supportive. He was a full-time college student when he was 20. He aspired to be the next Nirvana, the next big rock and roll band out of the area. So my parents really wanted to be supportive. So they said, you know, you can use our barn whenever you want. So I thought it was really cool because all of his really cute friends would come over every weeknight, and they would have all of their band's equipment set up in our barn, and they would be rocking out or doing whatever. Sometimes they'd have different lead singers come for different auditions. And in the basement of our house, he had his entire saltwater fish world. So he was so into saltwater fish, I was not allowed to go down there unless he was with me, because for sure I would mess something up. So to set the scene for you on this very fateful night, the front entrance of our house was on the main living area, and the back entrance was a perfectly square foyer. The stairs directly in front of the door went downstairs to the basement, which I was not allowed to go to. To the right, there were 2 stairs that went up the back entrance of the kitchen, and to the left was a storage area and like a coat closet. So my mom had come home from work. She was exhausted. She saw my dad. She saw me. We'd eaten dinner together. My dad sat down in his chair in the living room. He's just trying to relax. My mom is doing whatever she's doing in the kitchen, and I go upstairs to do my homework. I put my pajamas on, just thinking, you know, nothing else is going to happen tonight. I can just do my homework and go to bed. Of course, my dad was in his boxers. So maybe 10 minutes after Things had settled down for the evening. My brother was away for the night, or so we thought. I hear this horrible noise, and I couldn't figure out if it was coming from outside or inside. And there's just all this commotion and machinery. I had no clue what was going on. So this went on for a little while, and then the door to the upstairs opens, and my mom screams up the stairs, "Emily! Get down here now!" So I run downstairs, and she literally throws a shop vac in my arms, pushes me into the back foyer, and slams the door behind me. I was frozen. I couldn't move. There were hornets everywhere, on every surface, just thick. You couldn't reach to touch the back door because there was probably 8 hornets deep all over the door handle. My mom threw me into the situation because she's very allergic to bees. And we didn't know if I was, so that was. The noise of the hornets was just deafening. And it was something like everyone's worst nightmare. They're everywhere. They're on your body, they're going under your shirt. I have this vacuum cleaner I'm trying to turn on to suck them up because that's what we do. And then there's my dad right in front of me. I think I was on the first step, and he's on the flat part between all the doorways. He has a shop vac in each arm, and like a lightsaber, he is flailing around, sucking up as many hornets as he can. So he starts screaming, right, I got one over here, and quoting his favorite movies. While I'm trying to protect myself from certain death from being stung by hornets. Just when the back door flies open, and there's all of my brother's band members. And the buzzing was all anybody could hear. Everyone froze in time and just looked at each other at the situation that was in front of them. It was horrifying for everyone. After a few minutes, the back door being open, the hornet started to dissipate, and the band members were all rolling around on the grass in just hysterical laughter. They might have even peed their pants. I'm in my pajamas. My dad is half naked in his boxers with these lightsaber vacuum cleaners. And then a car pulls up to the garage, and it's my brother. He couldn't really understand what was going on. He walked up, and the blood just goes to his head. And it was like a Valentine's Day red all over his face, as you could see rage from whatever we had obviously done to ruin his life. So we jeopardized his band, we jeopardized his fish tank aquarium business, and ultimately his pride was just crushed that night because everybody now knew about my dad in boxers and what my pajamas looked like, and all of these vacuum cleaners that we had. So as we're trying to explain what happened, the hornets were almost all gone. We turned the vacuum cleaners off because they were starting to die, but the vacuum cleaners just sat there on the lawn buzzing all night.